record for the largest number of masseurs performing simultaneous massages. It took organizers more than a year and a half to organize the event. The old record was 641 therapists at one time, set in Thailand in 2012. The new record, 752, more than 100 more than the old record. The therapists all volunteered for the event, as did the lucky people getting the massages. That's a lot of massage going on.
Yeah.
752, wow. All right, that's our time. I could use a massage right now myself. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, several Milton students are facing punishment after making an offensive symbol at the school. We'll explain. Plus,
Darlington's downtown is underwater again. Following days of heavy rain, how residents are coping with the flooding.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
For staying with us at 5, everyone. Eric is off tonight. Students at a Rock County high school are facing discipline after a photo surfaced showing them making an offensive image.
Tonight, the district is not answering questions or explaining further. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter was the first to break this story and joins us now from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with the latest. Adam.
Well, Mark and Susan, the school district of Milton's interim superintendent isn't saying much about this incident tonight, other than that this past Monday he was made aware of several students making an offensive image, presumably with their bodies, in the high school's gym. Now, this morning we received a tip to our newsroom that the students were photographed making a swastika shape with their bodies, but the district's not commenting any further than saying it was, quote, an offensive image. Interim Superintendent Richard Dahman saying in a statement tonight, quote, our #1 priority is to maintain a safe and positive learning environment for all students. And also, we are confident that our school and district administration have promptly investigated this incident and addressed it. Now, Dahman would not say how many students were involved in this incident or exactly what the district is doing to address it. I did talk to Milton's high school football coach, who told me that at least one of his players is suspended for the upcoming week. This is a story that we're going to be continuing to follow and provide more information as it becomes available, both here on TV and on our website, channel3000.com.
Adam Duxter live in Janesville. Adam, thank you.
A 15-year-old girl could face charges after being accused of reporting a false threat at Sun Prairie High School. Police say the teen student reported a fabricated threat that 2 girls were in a bathroom, one with a handgun, and they were talking about shooting up the school. Officers say the threat was fabricated. They say the student is being referred to the Dane County DA's office and could face charges of terrorist threats and obstruction. A $250,000 cash bail has been set for the man accused of a fatal hit and run in Madison. Court records show 44-year-old Jason Natcone of Oregon is facing 11 felony counts, including first-degree reckless homicide. Officials said Natcone killed a 71-year-old man and injured his wife while driving in August. The wrong man was initially accused of the hit and run before his charges were dropped. Police later identified Natcone as the driver.
The Wausau police chief says 1 person is dead and 2 others injured after a shooting at a cemetery. Police say it happened this morning at the Pine Grove Cemetery. Officers say victims were either employees of the cemetery or related to cemetery employees. The 2 injured people were taken to a hospital. Their conditions are unknown. The suspect, who is from Schofield, was taken into custody. Authorities say a suspicious fire that broke out in Schofield shortly before the shooting, and they believe the 2 incidents are connected. The suspect will make an initial appearance in court tomorrow.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is out on the weather patio. Nice fall evening.
Well, it is on the cool side, but the air has dried out, which is good news, and we're not seeing any rain around here. You can see on visible cloud track, we've had some breaks in the clouds, which has been nice. Tomorrow we'll probably see a little bit more sunshine, but as we take a look at Doppler track, no rain across Wisconsin, which is good news. We can use all the dry weather that we can get. Now, this morning, low temperatures were in the upper 40s to lower 50s. They didn't really move very very much after the evening hours because of cloud cover and some rain and drizzle. But current temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s. They've been a couple of degrees warmer than that. Now dew point temperatures are in the lower 40s, so it should be a cooler night. Those low temperatures by tomorrow morning will be down in the lower 40s with partly cloudy skies tonight. For tomorrow, look for a partly sunny and cool day with a high of 57. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. The Darlington police chief says the bridge connecting one side of the city to the other could stay closed for the next 24 hours.
Part of the city is underwater for the 7th time in 2 years. Rose Schmidt is live from Main Street in Darlington to tell us how people in downtown are coping. Rose?
The Pecatonica River appears to have crested, but the water is moving more slowly through Darlington than the city officials and the police chief would like. The good news is that businesses like Casey's and other in this area have good flood mitigation techniques that keep this water from reaching the top of there. Luckily, the water hasn't reached most of the other businesses, but with the Main Street Bridge closed, it's effectively dividing the city. Schools were closed because of it, and the police chief says schools may be closed tomorrow as well. A restaurant owner we spoke with says she lives just 5 minutes away on the other side of the bridge, but it took her an hour to get to work this morning.
I was calling in some of our staff that are high school students thinking they have the day off. Well, it really comes down to who lives on what side of the river, and half of them live on the other side of the river, so there was no opportunity.
Police Chief Jason King says any more rain north of Darlington this weekend will likely mean the city gets right back up to these moderate flood stages. The police chief is hoping to open up at least one lane of this bridge, but he says that can't happen until the Pecatonica River is at 15 feet, which is about 10 inches lower than it is right now. He says that's expected to happen tomorrow evening. Mark and Susan.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting live in Darlington. Thank you.
Columbia County officials say they are also experiencing flooding throughout the county. The Wisconsin River is currently at 15.1 feet, and officials believe it will rise to over 16 feet by Saturday. The Baraboo, Crawfish, and Fox River water levels are all expected to rise. Cleanup kits are available to residents impacted by the flooding at the Columbia County Law Enforcement Center in Portage. Free well water test kits are also available at Columbia County Health and Human Services at the building there. New numbers released from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention today show there are more than 1,000 confirmed and probable vaping illnesses reported in the U.S., including 18 deaths.
Madison doctors say the national public health crisis is hitting home. Madeline O'Neill brings us the message from a Fort Atkinson teen who recently came close to dying. Maddie?
Mark and Susan, in the past 2 months, UW health doctors say they've seen at least 10 young adults with lung injuries who say they vape. 16-year-old Logan Cron of Fort Atkinson is the first patient to be admitted to the pediatric intensive care unit at the American Family Children's Hospital because of vaping. It happened last week when his lungs were so inflamed and filled with liquids that he couldn't breathe on his own.
I found out that I had something called chemical pneumonitis, which is caused by vaping. As a result, I came very close to dying, and I have suffered lifelong damage to my lungs. I have a long recovery ahead of me, and this experience has changed my life tremendously.
More than 25% of high schoolers say they vape. Logan's mom says he's been sharing his story with classmates, and 2 of his friends have already decided to quit vaping. And we have resources on our website for people about helping them quit. The doctors say it's important for young people to stop, whether it's THC, CBD oil, or nicotine cartridges. And coming up at 6, we'll have more from them on what they know about the consequences of vaping.
They are many. Madeline O'Neill, thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. The Speaker's Task Force on Adoption is presenting its recommendations to Speaker Robin Vos. The bipartisan task force held 7 hearings around the state and came up with 12 recommendations. Some of those recommendations include creating a protection or services for drug-affected children and modifying the law regarding placing children with relatives.
I believe this task force has at least opened the idea of, instead of our end goal to be always reunification, that we should have a goal of putting these children in the healthiest environment possible for them during their very short window of growing up.
The task force was created in May. Sponsors of the bill say they're continuing to make the recommendations a reality in the coming weeks.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson says he sees small dairy farms as both American and Wisconsin traditions, while refusing to directly criticize comments made by President Trump's Ag Secretary suggesting they may need to get bigger to survive. Earlier this week, Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue said at the World Dairy Expo that in America, the big get bigger and the small go out. After speaking to the Middleton Chamber of Commerce today, Johnson said that small dairy farms are a tradition we want to do everything we can to preserve.
There's no doubt about the fact that, particularly in dairy, you're transitioning to much larger farms, but that also creates a distribution center that smaller farms can tap into as well. I've always looked at the organic type of product areas as a good outlet for smaller family farms too. So, I mean, I think our job as government officials is to do everything we can to make sure that agriculture in all its forms, large and small, can survive and thrive in the state of Wisconsin.
Yesterday, Governor Tony Evers said that he resented the remarks which he said accounted to lambasting dairy farms and putting a pox on small farmers in the state. The Clean Lakes Alliance is asking for the community's help to restore land north of Pheasant Branch Conservancy. Dane County purchased 160-acre farmland and dedicated $250,000 to restoring it to a natural prairie. The project is aimed to prevent nearly 5 million gallons of runoff water from entering our lakes each year and help mitigate flooding. The Clean Lakes Alliance is helping fundraise for the project. So far, Alliant Energy has donated $100,000 to the effort. If you'd like to help, go to cleanlakesalliance.org.
Marcus Theaters started a new policy on Tuesday that bans bags or packages larger than 12 inches by 12 inches by 6 inches. The theater says this new bag policy is supposed to help provide a more safe experience for guests and employees. Bags include purses, backpacks, and totes. There are exceptions to the new rules for medical equipment bags and diaper bags.
A hip-hop artist is helping students prepare for the future. D1 graduated from Louisiana State University and was a former middle school teacher before becoming a hip-hop artist and motivational speaker. He partnered with the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions to host a financial literacy and planning for college workshop for area students at the Overture Center. More than 1,200 students from 15 schools learned about the importance of going to college and how to responsibly pay for it.
There's going to be some challenges that you could have never expected that are going to come your way. But when you hear that and you're ready for it ahead of time, when it happens to you, it doesn't make you feel like it's unconquerable or insurmountable. It makes you feel like, hey, this is part of the journey. I'm going to get through this and keep going.
The event today was awarded the Governor's Financial Literacy Award for the past 2 years. There's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, President Trump is taking more swipes at Democrats as he calls on another country to investigate the former vice president and his son.
And then coming up tonight at 6, the Packers head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys on Sunday. What former Packer player Randall Cobb is saying about facing his former team.
And on Wall Street, the Dow was up 122 points. The NASDAQ gained 87. The S&P up 23. We'll be right back.
President Trump is calling on another country to investigate the Bidens, even as he faces an impeachment inquiry for allegedly doing the same thing with Ukraine.
China should start an investigation into the Bidens, because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine.
Biden's campaign said what Donald Trump just said on the South Lawn of the White House was this election's equivalent of his infamous Russia, if you're listening moment from 2016. The president's latest comments seeking foreign help also drew a stern rebuke from congressional Democrats as they move forward with their impeachment inquiry. The House's top Republican, Kevin McCarthy, wrote a letter to Speaker Nancy Pelosi asking her to suspend all efforts surrounding the impeachment inquiry.
There is a legal settlement stemming from the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. MGM Resorts International has agreed to pay up to $800 million to victims of the 2017 Las Vegas shooting massacre. 58 people died and hundreds of people were injured when the gunman opened fire from his hotel room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. The settlement covers about 4,400 victims and their families, including 30-year-old Chelsea Romo, who was shot in the face. She lost her left eye and has endured multiple surgeries to repair her right eye.
I cover it with my bangs. My whole cheek, my eyebrow, all of this is it's all metal, all plates, screws. I still have shrapnel all through my forehead. I have it all throughout my brain.
MGM CEO said in a statement its goal was to resolve the lawsuit so the community, the victims, and their families can move forward in the healing process.
Let's get to the forecast now. Gary Canalti is here in the studio. It's feeling like fall, Gary.
It is, although we are starting to get a little sunshine. The cloud cover kept our temperatures down for much of the day today, but now we're starting to see some breaks in the clouds, some mid and high level clouds coming in from the southwest, the lower clouds near the ground coming in from the northwest, along with the northwesterly winds near the ground. But you can see on Doppler track, none of those clouds are producing any precipitation across southern Wisconsin. Now we are expecting some showers and isolated thunderstorms from later tomorrow night into Saturday. Latest computer model forecasts show anywhere from about a third to a half inch of rain through much of southern Wisconsin, amounts closer to an inch back toward the La Crosse area and farther off toward the west. Again, this is from tomorrow night into Saturday and Saturday evening. Live view from the WISC Skycam looking off toward the northeast shows some breaks in the clouds. The Edgewater Skycam looking toward the southeast shows partly sunny skies and occasional sunshine on the capital. The Almanac for today shows much more of a fall-like day. The low temperature 54 is well above normal, and that's because of the cloud cover, but the high temperature 59 is 5 degrees below the average high of 64. And right now we're at 55, so we may fall below that 54-degree reading before too long and say have a new low temperature for the day. Winds out of the northwest at 13 miles per hour will gradually diminish overnight, but with the dew point temperature in the lower 40s and the partly cloudy skies, that's about how low we're expecting temperatures to get tonight. In fact, last night, where skies cleared out across Minnesota and North Dakota, temperatures were in the 30s. We saw 40s over northwestern Wisconsin and low to mid 50s here because of the clouds, the showers, and the drizzle. But there are already frost advisories in effect from northwestern Iowa through the western half of Minnesota and freeze warnings for central North Dakota for tonight for the possibility for a widespread frost and freeze. Temperatures right now, mid 50s here, already in the 40s in northern Wisconsin. You have to get down to around the Quad Cities in northwestern Illinois to see temperatures up around 60. But with that dry air, it'll cool off pretty quickly. And again, temperatures are expected to be in the 30s through much of Minnesota and the Dakotas. As we look at weather track, the upper level winds are still from the southwest, but as that jet stream starts to settle southward around that big dome of heat, which is still continuing across the eastern part of the country, that will start to allow the cooler fall-like air to head in. But more importantly, it's pushing the rain threat farther to the south from Texas up into central Illinois and northern portions of Missouri, and that will continue to shift toward the south and east. In fact, the cold front itself at the ground has reached all the way into the eastern portions of Kentucky and the western part of Tennessee, and this large area of high pressure is pushing in. These showers are well behind the front, but still enough to produce some light precipitation. But you can certainly tell where the cooler air is, at 40s, 50s, some low 60s, even as far south as Kansas, where temperatures were in the 90s before. Near the Ohio River, temperatures still around 90 degrees and in the 90s into the mid-Atlantic states. But with time, that dry air will continue to push the humid air near the Ohio River south and east, and that will allow temperatures to cool off through much of the upper Midwest. So that northwesterly wind flow will continue for tonight. Look for partly cloudy skies, Temperatures lower 40s for tonight, highs upper 50s for tomorrow. Next weather system starts bringing clouds in and perhaps some showers late tomorrow night. And then here come the showers and isolated thunderstorms Saturday into Saturday evening. Behind that, a push of drier. It actually will be a couple of degrees warmer on Sunday thanks to the sunshine, but then eventually those winds become a little more northwesterly as we head into Monday and allow temperatures to cool back off into the upper 50s for highs. So for tonight, skies will be partly cloudy. It'll be cool, low temperature dropping to 41. And tomorrow should be a partly sunny and cool day. High temperature will top out at 57. Now, as we take a look at Futurecast, again, those temperatures cool off pretty quickly at night with the dry air, lows in the lower 40s. High temperatures tomorrow topping out in the upper 50s. Tomorrow night, the clouds move in. Best chances of showers west of Madison late tomorrow night, and then showers and some isolated thunderstorms through the day on Saturday. High temperatures eventually topping out in the upper 50s. Rainfall amounts, again, about a third to a half inch of rain, maybe some heavier amounts to the north and west. 7 to 10 day forecast. Dry weather still expected Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Had to increase the shower and thunderstorm chances on Thursday, but cool fall-like weather could bring us patchy frost by early on Saturday morning of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, Beltline pretty heavy right now. This is the view at Park Street looking off toward the east. You can see slow traffic in both directions. Right now we're seeing delays on the eastbound Beltline from around Monona Drive all the way back to west of Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Fish Hatchery Road and go back to near John Nolan Drive. Also seeing a few delays northbound on US 12 out of Middleton. So right now it's 25 minutes on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 20 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 27 minutes to Janesville from the Beltline on I-3990. It's 26 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 because of those delays north of Middleton, and then 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a local photographer is traveling along a popular state trail taking pictures of some of Wisconsin's most beloved locations. We'll share his journey after a quick break. Wisconsin is full of small towns, but most of us just drive right past them.
Well, a local traveling photographer is hiking 1,200 miles around the state, capturing some of Wisconsin's hidden gems in the places that most of us don't see.
Jamie Perez introduces us to him as he takes us through some unique finds that even the most adventurous Wisconsinites might be surprised about.
Cameron Gilley describes himself as a slow hiker compared to others. But he's not simply hiking for the sake of hiking.
So I take a lot of pictures.
This former photojournalist doesn't miss a beat when it comes to exploring his home state.
There's a lot of interesting things in all these small towns.
Gilley is on a 2-year journey to hike the entire Ice Age Trail, documenting through pictures the gems that most of us miss.
Starts in Sturgeon Bay in Door County, goes down around Janesville, through Janesville, past Wausau, past Antigo, and curves around back to the Minnesota border, actually. So it's 1,200 miles in all.
Gilley started his journey at the end of April.
Do your feet hurt?
Yeah.
But this journey is about more than just taking photos. While he doesn't miss a beat on his path, he's making sure his heart doesn't miss a beat either.
I had open heart surgery 5 years ago, almost.
Gilley had quadruple bypass surgery at 47 years old. An unexpected turn in his life, one that motivated him to explore what life has to offer, even if it is just exploring the missed opportunities right here in Wisconsin.
So that's been a big motivation to get out and be active.
With shorter walking adventures since then, hiking the Ice Age Trail is his greatest journey yet.
The end result, hopefully, will be a photography book.
He's hoping to one day share the beauty of small towns in Wisconsin that he's been fortunate enough to live through. Until then, step by step through the rest of the trail, Gilley is okay with being a slower hiker, if it means he won't miss another beat. In Madison, Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
Gilley is only about a third of the way through his journey, and he still has a couple of more years to finish. If you'd like to follow his journey and the stories that he's uncovering in small towns of Wisconsin, we have a link to his social media on our website, channel3000.com.
And we'll have another check of the weather when we come back.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, startling new research today finds lung damage from vaping looks like chemical burns from World War I mustard gas. A huge settlement in the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Questions about how it will be divided. And meet a teenager who parties nearly every weekend to make a difference in the lives of children in need. We've got those stories and so much more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
All right, one final check of the forecast.
Well, we need all the dry weather we can get. Let's just start with that. Taking a look at Doppler radar, no rain. That's good for now, but we'll probably see some showers later tomorrow night into Saturday. Temperatures are on the cool side. We're already in the mid-50s, and we're looking for overnight low temperatures to drop into the lower 40s because that's where the dew point temperatures are. But after a dry day tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms Saturday, then dry weather for 4 days, showers and thunderstorms Thursday, and maybe our first patchy frost by early Saturday morning next week.
Right on cue.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good evening. The CBS Evening News is coming up next.